Hi there, welcome to TideFest 2017, which takes place on Sunday the 10th of September, as usual, at the wonderful location at Strand on the Green, just downstream from Kew Bridge. TideFest is a celebration of the recreational importance of the River Thames to Londoners. We've got an ever-expanding programme of activities, so let's go and find out what's on offer for you to enjoy this year. Now, tell me what Active 360 have got planned for this year's TideFest on September the 10th.
So in the morning we're going to do paddle and pick up plastic, rubbish and use it in our artwork. And then from 11 o'clock there will be taster sessions, and then at the end of the day there will be a paddle charity to Old Isleworth for water trek. But make sure you pre-book it online.
Good advice indeed. All the details will be on the TideFest website, www.thamestidefest.net. I'm joined by Dr. Chris Green from Brunel University. Chris, you're working this year with plastic oceans, which are a big part of TideFest in 2017. Tell us about the increasing problem of plastic pollution.
Well, plastic pollution is a fairly serious and upcoming issue around the world. Plastics are a really persistent pollutant, and they're having impacts on wildlife all the way throughout the food chain. So they can be ingested by fish, for example. They can entangle things like sea turtles, seabirds, but they also can have impacts on us. They can present a navigational hazard to shipping, and they also just look terrible on the shoreline.
Well, this year we're extremely fortunate at having the use of this great community space at Kew Bridge Piazza for TideFest on Sunday the 10th of September. It's right next to Kew Bridge Arches and of course overlooked by the great 1 over the 8 pub. Now it's in that very pub, Chris, that you guys have got a special film show.
Yeah, so as part of the Plastic Oceans Festival we'll be screening the Plastic Ocean film, which is a global adventure documentary that investigates the impacts of plastics on wildlife, on the environment and also on us. So I think we're screening at about 3 o'clock, so if you want further details, go to the website.
Well, I'm joined by Will Barnard, an old fishing friend of mine, and also the Angling Development Officer for Thames Water. Will, you've got the job of organising the TideFest Angling Championship on Sunday, September the 10th. What lives in the river?
Martin, 50, 60 years ago, certainly in recent history, the River Thames in London was nothing more than an open sewer. It was biologically dead. Now, recent surveys show that there's up to 125 different species in the tidal Thames.
125. I mean, a lot of people would find that amazing. What sort of fish are you expected to come out in the competition?
During the match, regularly we get bream, roach and dace, and there's a few surprises. Baby bass, flounder, they've made their way up from the estuary.
And what about salmon and sea trout?
They've been reported too, not in the matches, but in surveys recently, we are seeing salmon and sea trout coming up the river.
And of course, when the Tideway tunnel's built and some of the sewage runoff is taken out of the system, the river's going to be even cleaner, isn't it?
Look, it's going to be better for wildlife, it's going to be better for fish, and it's going to be better for all the people that enjoy the river in their city.
That's great news. Thanks very much. There's so much happening at this year's TideFest. In addition to the kayaking, the paddleboarding, the fishing, the foreshore walks, the boat trips to Oliver's Islands, the trips on the Windrush cruiser, there's also an opportunity to go to Lots 8. Lots 8 is the historic boatyard hidden away at the heart of Brentford. Actually, the place that the African Queen was filmed many, many years ago. On top of that, there's a load of new events as well this year. There's the low tide wade at Deptford Creek, a very historic part of the Thames Tideway. Thames 21 are organising riverboat trips up the River Lee to the Hackney Reed Beds, which is a fascinating and really interesting part of London. And Thames Water opening up their Beckton Nature Reserve down on the Thames estuary. So lots and lots of opportunities to see parts of the Tideway that most people don't get to witness. And up here at Strand on the Green we'll have the usual array of marquees with stalls, food, arts and crafts activities, lots of interesting displays, lots of games for the children. And of course, all the activities and events at this year's TideFest are either free of charge or at a heavily discounted rate, in part due to the very generous sponsorship we've received from Thames Water. Now Rebecca, you work for Thames. Why do you guys support TideFest so strongly? We're glad that you do.
Well, the health of the River Thames is vital for our business, and we strive to be responsible stewards for the environment. We provide 15 million customers with essential water and wastewater services.
But why TideFest in particular?
Well, TideFest highlights the importance of the Thames and reconnects Londoners with their river, so that's why we are proud to be the main sponsors of this amazing and growing event.
So hopefully that's given you a flavour of the full range of activities and events on offer at this year's TideFest down here at Strand on the Green and other locations in London on Sunday, September the 10th. Come along and enjoy the river with us. More details on all the bookings, the full range of programme at www.thamesideway.com.